Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Leo. How will Leo be affected by the September 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. If we're born on the cusp with Virgo, or we have Virgo within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very powerfully at our root. And then we have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. Same thing. If we have Sagittarius within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. We have the goddess of air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is connecting us with the air sign energy if we have it within our natal chart, but also the air sign energy of our breath and of the power of our breath within ourselves. Then we have the 10 of fire, which I love this beautiful, rendition of the card. We have the King of Wands. We're coming through at the heart as a king, and we need to embrace this within ourselves. We're represented by the Wands in the Minor Arcana. We're represented by the Strength card in the Major Arcana. We also have Aries coming forward, which is also represented by the Wands in the Minor Arcana. Fire sign energies, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have the here with Temperance, so both Temperance and Aries are being represented by the King of Wands. Aries, if we have that within our natal chart, it's coming through very powerfully at our heart. With the Four of Swords, there's a sense of needing to rest. We have the 10 of Cups, and we have the Emperor coming through again. Very strong Aries energy, but also very strong energy that is telling us, seize the throne. Take our power, take our success, but also our hearts need a little bit of a break. Well, yeah, our hearts do need a little bit of a break from us striving so fervently towards our goals. It's like step back, learn what it is that we love, learn what it is that we want, and then seize that throne, seize that power, and seize that abundance. But it's kind of like stepping back from the material world and looking at our inner world and saying, what am I building? What do I want? What is needed for success? What is needed for balance within me? If we do not find the balance during this moon, we feel like we do not find ourselves. So just be mindful of this during this time. So let's dive into what this moon is. This moon is on the 20th of September. It is the full moon in Pisces. It's called the harvest moon. And this is going to be a time of fantastic blessings, but also a bit of intricacy. So with the full moon in Pisces, Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune. And Neptune brings beauty to the spiritual level. Beauty is found within the spiritual level, within our spiritual selves. And this is going to be a time where we need to connect with that beauty. If we don't connect spiritually, we actually feel like something is missing, and that can make us rather grouchy during this time. Now, Neptune also holds sway over our dreams. We connect to ourselves, to the power of this moon, to the power of the ebb and flow of ourselves through our dreams. As we embrace our dreams, we embrace ourselves. This is also going to be a time where we become aligned with our dreams. We really become focused on our dreams. We can become hyper-focused on our dreams, though, so we have to be mindful of that, to kind of step back, to keep everything in balance, and that is coming through at our root with Temperance. Now, this is also going to be a time where we can slip away from what troubles us, where we can really want to slip away from what troubles us and really fall into our dreams. And instead of making those dreams a reality, we want to fall into the illusion that the mind is given when we embrace the thought of our dreams. Because remember, the mind does not know the difference between make-believe and reality, which is something that is quite interesting to know. So during this time, if we have addictions, if we have, bad habits that we have formed, we have to be mindful of them coming forward and saying, don't worry, I'll deal with the stress, because these are the habits that we have built within ourselves to deal with stress, to deal with things becoming overwhelming, to deal with chaos within us. So this is going to be a time where we have to really just be a bit mindful of that, be a bit mindful of negative coping mechanisms that come into our lives during this time, because we can feel like we're too in tune with the world around us and we need that buffer. This is also going to be a time where we are our most spiritual and compassionate. But again, there's always going to be like this dance with this moon. And so it brings us with our fantastic spirituality and our fantastic compassion. There we go. It brings us to a place where our boundaries are the thinnest, where we think, well, I just have to help everybody. I just have to dive right in there. So we have to be very mindful of our boundaries. We have to be very mindful of what we can do and what we can do. And we also have to make sure that we're cleansing our energy, that we're taking away the negativity. We're not holding on to it during this time, because that can become very toxic for us. Now, with the full moon, it always brings our focus with our family and our friends and our close relationships. Like, that always comes into focus during this time. And this is because the sun is opposite the moon, that we start to really, become aware of our opposing energy. What is it about us? What is it within us that is drawn to the opposite, or that needs to fix things, that needs to bring everything into harmony? Another thing that we have to see is that we're not going to bring everything into balance the way that we want to. And that's going to be a part of the acceptance of the heart. The heart is so focused on claiming its passion, claiming its power, that we need to understand that it can be very energy draining to say everything needs to be balanced, everything needs to be perfect. It's kind of like everything needs to be tidied up just so. It's like, no, it doesn't. It needs to be tidied, yes, but it doesn't need to be in a way that drains our energy and drives us to a point of not enjoying our lives and ourselves. This is going to also be a time where our intuition and our emotional awareness is at its peak, as always, with the full moon. This lasts for 2 weeks after the full moon, and this is going to be the time where we're finding our balance, we're gaining our understanding. And this is so important because the full moon in Pisces says balance, spirituality, and practicality. It's all about the harmonizing balance of our dream self, our spiritual self, and our waking world self. Mercury is going to be trine Jupiter, which brings amazing power. It also brings us optimism, generosity, good luck, and good news, which, come on, what more can you ask for? There's a sense of beauty here that we really see. And this is a time where our instincts are on point. We need to listen to our instinctual self, because we're seeing clearly what we want for our future, how we set it up in the present. And this is going to lead us to being excellent networkers and socializers during this time. So we're setting things up like dominoes to be able to have them fall into place. We also can't get mad when everything doesn't fall exactly into place, because we're going to have a little bit of rigidity to us during this time. Mercury squared Pluto brings a little bit more difficult energy than the really powerful, beautiful energy of Mercury trine Jupiter. Because with Mercury squared Pluto, it has us looking at things more deeply. It has us being deep thinkers, has us, seeking out intense conversations and intense interactions with everyone and everything. And we want everything to have such a deep, powerful, purposeful meaning. And sometimes things just don't. Sometimes things are fun. Sometimes we just have to be a little bit silly or just enjoy ourselves. So during this time, we can dive too deep into things, and we can fall too deeply down the rabbit hole. So though this is great for research and work, and we can make connections that we weren't making before, we have to make sure that we step back, that we don't become all consumed by things. Now what's going to be really helpful is that Jupiter is semi-sextile Pluto, which helps soften the energy of Mercury squared Pluto and aligns us with the success of Mercury trine Jupiter. This brings powerful spiritual and personal growth, and also the ability to create wealth, spiritual wealth, personal wealth, financial wealth, and align us with professional achievements. So this moon, as we're balancing the spiritual and the practical, it puts us in alignment with the bigger picture. Now, on the 6th of October is the new moon in Libra, which says a new romantic cycle begins. This is going to be gone through in more detail in another reading, where we just focus on the new moon. But there's a sense of balance coming forward. There's a sense of harmony that plays off of the balance and the harmony of spirituality and practicality of the Pisces full moon. On the 20th of October, we have the full moon in Aries. A fiery climax approaches. There's an intensity, there's a fire, there's a build up to this moon. And that comes as we are balancing ourselves, as we are seeing ourselves more openly and more honestly than before, and as we're kind of calling ourselves out to the way that we haven't been in harmony. So let's look at the energy that we need to be mindful of. And this is the King of Wands. As much as it blesses us within our hearts, within ourselves, and as much as it represents us, we have to be mindful of getting in our own way and being too focused on having to have the fiery intensity to everything. We're kind of really going to like the energy of Mercury squared Pluto. It's intense, it's focused, it's interactive, it's powerful, and we're going to think this is what I'm going to dive into. And so we have to step back from that just a bit. We're also going to really be drawn to people who have this intensity to them, which is going to feed our proclivity towards this emotion, towards this intense power. And we have to kind of step back and say, no, there's more here than just having to light everything on fire, having to have everything be so intense and so powerful and so much. It's kind of like the difference between having a barn fire and having a campfire. You know, you don't huddle around the barn fire, you step back from it. It's a beacon, it can consume so much. But a campfire is cozy. A campfire can warm and can cook and can comfort. So let's see our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading. And it's 2. It is the Earth Star Chakra with Mother Earth, and it is the 3rd chakra with Truth. During this time, as we embrace the energy that's 6 inches below our feet, as we embrace our earthly connection, we start to speak our truth. Why? Because we're becoming aligned. This is a time where balance is important. And again, we have to be mindful of not making balance all consuming. As we embrace our balance, as we embrace our insight, as we embrace our power, we embrace us. And so we have to speak truth as we see it, truth as we understand it, truth as it guides us forward. There's going to be a power to embracing our truth, our insight, and the balancing words to us. We don't have to speak the truth to everybody else. We do have to speak the truth to ourselves and see the doors that it opens. It moves us to the Hermit, which is the Virgo energy that shows us that there's power in quiet. You know, we have the boar right here, which is really quite intense. In medieval times, it was a great honor and it was a great feat to go boar hunting. When you did, it showed tremendous power. It showed tremendous strength. It showed tremendous skill, because the boar's tusk could easily rip into the side of your leg and kill you, cut a major artery. So when we see the boar coming forward, what we see is the intensity that wants to guard us from being able to connect with our inner selves. This fierceness that says, if you walk through here, you're going to see things differently than you had seen things before. There's going to be a rawness, an openness, a sense of bleeding out, a sense of releasing the toxicity that's held within us. Can you face it? Can you walk forward towards the power and intensity of the inner self without flinching away? There's very much a sense of, yes, I can, during this time, because we see the lion connecting with the mouse. We see the fierceness connecting with that which is tiny, but also mighty. And so during this time, we start to find ourselves finding balance through strength and through harmony, through walking into who we are, not who we want others to see us as or who we think we should be. It moves us then as we embrace this balance, as we call this balance forward within us, as we open up our eyes and our instincts and our souls to ourselves, and we brew this tremendous power to move us forward, this tremendous harmony. It moves us to the goddess of air. And the goddess of air says, be mindful of your words. Be mindful of the way you weave things together, the connections that are made, the power that is had, the beauty of communication. Our throat chakra is going to be the balancing force for us, and that's going to be very powerful inwardly. How do we weave things together? How do we embrace our breath? How are we working on our breath? Breathing through the nose is astoundingly powerful. There's also breathing exercises that calm, release anxiety, align us, and help to move us forward that are very, very intense. With the goddess of air, we're seeing the power of our words, the words we speak to ourselves, the thoughts that we have, the insights that guide us, the passion, the brilliance, and the determination. So as we embrace this, we start to embrace ourselves. As we see ourselves more openly and honestly, as we speak the words of creation, we see ourselves creating. We're going to start to see barriers that held us back in the past, things that kept us silent or small or stuck, starting to fall away. And it moves us to the fire of air. It moves us to the 10 of fire, not the fire of air, the 10 of fire, which says, I'm illuminating the darkness so that you could see the cardinal in the shadows, so that you can see the path that needs to be walked. Now, so often with the 10 of fire, the 10 of wands, it's shown as a person laden with burdens. All they are looking at is the dirt on their feet. All they are seeing is the mud that they walk on. This is a time where things are different. We are looking at things, not with our burdens on us, but with the power of the shadows trying to stop us, the power of the unknown trying to hold us back. Now we have the illumination, and it's saying when things are illuminated, as the spiritual and the practical come into harmony, how do you move forward? Where is it that you need to be? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? What is the standout bit of red right here? The standout bit of color and intensity that guides you to the place that you need to be. It moves us then to the King of Wands, fire and passion and insight and transformation through claiming the road that we need to walk, claiming the voice that needs to be ours. This isn't a time to hide away. This isn't a time to be meek, but this is a time to understand that the ferocity of our heart and the determination of ourselves needs to kind of be tempered to embrace the transformation that's going on here through the combination of balance. Because once we have ourselves balanced, once we have the power of our breath guiding us, we become unstoppable. And as we become unstoppable, we have the King of Wands, and we have the Emperor saying, there's nothing and no one that can get in my way. The Emperor is force, determination, one of the highest cards within the whole entire tarot. If we look at this and we equate it back to medieval times, the only person who is more powerful than him is the Pope. And so then we have, it's kind of like the king, the High King and the King. We have the sense of power, determination, focus, and insight coming. And we have ourselves following this path. We have ourselves claiming a throne we thought we lost, claiming a throne we never knew we had, claiming an insight, a voice that says, I get to lead because I am not a follower. And as we lead, we move forward with determination, focus, and insight. Our fire, our passion, our hearts are very much aligned. But what we need to do in order to be able to fully embrace this energy right here, this sense of I am moving towards my goals, I am opening up the door, I will not be held back, I will not be denied, I am embracing, is that we need to look at the Four of Swords. We need to pay honor and homage to everything that we have been through, the hurt, the pain, the disappointment, the doubts, the fears. I know people say, Dean, I'm tired of hearing about hurt and pain when it comes to my inner self. Show me one person's life, though, that is without hurt and pain, and I will stop talking about it. Show me one person who has lived totally without doubt or regret or anger or despair, and I will stop talking about it. But until that time, it is going to be spoken of, because it is an intrinsical part of who we are. That's why in Buddhism they say life is about suffering. That's why in Christianity you have your cross to bear. Life has a suffering aspect to it that is unfair and unjust and undeniably true to humanity and to existence itself. And so here with the Four of Swords, there is an intensity to us realizing the dreams that are being held back, us realizing the power of sleep, the power of self-care, the power of insights and ideas, knowing that we are being guarded, knowing that spirit is with us. And it moves us then to the Ten of Cups. It moves us to this healing, beautiful love that comes forward and says, I'm here for you. What is it that you love? What is it that you desire? During this moon, this isn't about proving ourselves to everybody else, though there's a part of our hearts that really does want to. It really does want us to be seen as the powerful, successful people that we are. But our definition of power is going to have to morph during this time to be, I'm embracing what I love. I'm embracing what is absolutely beautiful about me. I'm embracing this wonderful sense of self and individuality and what makes me happy. This is simply the sense of everybody seeks out happiness, but everybody's happiness is different. Some people take great joy in solving mathematical problems. Other people take great joy in creating, great paintings and great works of art. It doesn't matter where your happiness, your joy lies. What matters is that you follow it. What matters is that you open up the door to it. And so during this time, as the illumination comes and the 10 is completed, we come and repeated, we come to the completion of a cycle with our passion and also with our hearts. We start to realize that it's the little things that matter the most. It's the little things that bring us forward in joy and success, that call us to prosperity, that call us to abundance. And it's the little things that we fall in love with life or in life. It's beauty and it's tenacity and it's coming together of soul and self and intention, which leads us to the Emperor, which leads us to embracing our happiness and then claiming our throne. This is maturity. This is a sense of, I know what I want, I know who I am, and I know what I desire. And I'm not kowtowing to anybody else. I'm not letting other people dictate what is right for me. This is the road that I'm walking on. This is the success that I'm embracing, and this is the heart that I have. So it can be that we go to a beat of a different drum during this time, and there's this tremendous desire to fit in, to be powerful, to be seen. And what Spirit is saying during this time, that's going to start to do a shift. We're going to start to shift and say, what does it matter? What does it matter if you see me as the emperor of the whole entire world, or you simply see me as the emperor of myself, the ruler of what I desire, the person who sits out in their garden and reads it quietly and contentedly, but powerfully and beautifully is aligned with the earth, the soul, and themselves. And so as we embrace this, we embrace who we are, we embrace what we desire, we embrace what we love, and we embrace the pathway forward. It leads us to connecting with the power of the moon. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels, oh goodness, and spirit guides. So, here we go, in one bonus. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. So it moves us to our root. Beauty is in showing the world the real you. This takes us to the full moon in Aquarius that was the last moon that we had, and the moon before that. There's a sense of beauty being at the heart of saying, this is who I am. This is what I love. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is through claiming our public self. This is through claiming the power of our individuality through our public self. It then leads to our inner self being told the path is believing in the impossible. It's not limiting ourselves, but being able to say and see that the impossible can be possible through the power of this moon, through the power of balancing the spiritual and the practical, through the power of balancing these two desires within ourselves, within our souls. And it brings us then to our emotional selves, which says acceptance. You and your loved ones are safe. Acceptance comes as we know that what it needs to be taken care of is taken care of. But now we have to accept the polarizing aspects of ourselves. We have to accept what we like and what we don't like about the world and our lives and our desires, and and where we want to be. There's a sense of a non-judgmental space as we move forward, a sense of I'm embracing my prosperity and my power and my throne, but I'm also moving towards my heart into becoming and to elevating my vibrational energy, my energy that guides me. It brings then sovereignty over the end of a tough situation. And we have sovereignty, we have the Queen of the Moon coming forward, and it says here, the end of a tough cycle approaches. So much is illuminated for us. We have more full moons than we have new moons. So here, it brings us to a place of saying, I am ruling. We have the King of Wands, we have the Emperor coming up twice. We are ruling what we desire, because the end of the tough cycle, the end of everything that we've worked for, the end of only looking at the dirt and the mud on our shoes has come. And now we get to be the rulers. We get to be the powerful, insightful, purposeful people. And it moves us to resilience. It moves us to being able to craft and being able to carry that which we thought was impossible. Our resilience leads us to putting down the earth tree, and putting down our tree of life and giving it life, giving it purpose, watching it grow, watching ourselves grow. And as we do so, our subconscious lunar message is self-love. What do you need to release? So in order to embrace our self-love, our beauty, our intentions, our coming together of ourselves, what do we need to release? What do we need to let go of? What is it that has been stagnating us? Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Prince of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But it's also the fact that letting money, letting success, letting outward things speak for us instead of inward things speaking for us, instead of ourselves and who we are and what we want guiding us forward. That becomes the thing here. That means everything. That becomes the release that we need to have, the energy that we need to be mindful of. What are we listening to, and why are we listening to it? Is it something that's simply marketing, and fantastic marketing at that, to make us envious, to make us dissatisfied, to make us feel discontented within our own existence? And it moves us then to our subconscious chakra energy, which is the heart chakra, play. Here's the thing with play, and I always find this so intensely powerful. You cannot play. As human beings, we cannot play if we are not happy, if we do not feel safe. Well, maybe happy isn't the right word. If we do not feel safe, that's it, clinically. We do not embrace play if we do not feel safe. And so here, there's going to be a power to that. I need to feel safe within myself, within the balancing of my spirituality and my practicality, within the balancing of me, in order to play, in order to embrace, in order to move forward, enjoy, and to have my heart chakra come to the surface. It then moves us to our rooted energy, which is the moon, Pisces energy. Subconsciously at our root, this moon is intensely powerful. It brings us to a place of beauty. It brings us to showing the world the real us. It brings us to turning inward and to balancing ourselves, to saying it all lies within. And so this moon affects us, and this moon is intensely a part of us in a way that we may not even understand, but in a way that can scare us, in a way that can be overwhelming. But once we harness it, it's astoundingly and never-endingly powerful. It then brings our subconscious inner self forward. And this says the Three of Waters, the Three of Cups. Understanding what we need to walk away from, what is no longer sheltering us, caring for us, what is the person, or who is the person who was supposed to raise their cup to us but couldn't, was supposed to accept us, love us, care for us but couldn't. And now we start to find the balance within ourselves, within the people who have always stood by our side, within the things that love us and cherish us, within the love and cherishment that we have instead of the negativity. So with the Three of Cups, there's something very interesting. So if you have an abusive parent, which I hope none of you have had, but children tend to work harder to please that abusive parent, or side more with the abusive parent, and also side more with the abusive parent than they do with the parent who cares for them and who isn't abusive. So this is saying, be mindful of that energy. Be mindful of the energy that we're letting the toxic become more important than the love, than the caring, than the nurturing. And so we need to step back from it. And we need to embrace the rainbow. We need to embrace beauty after storms. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, and that is the Page of Wands. passion, determination, us seeing ourselves as students subconsciously. There is so much more that we have to learn. There are messages that we're getting from spirit. There are doors that are being opened, but we don't see ourselves subconsciously as a king. We might see ourselves as a king, as a powerhouse when we look inward, but subconsciously we're still learning, we're still building, we're still understanding. So we have to also come to balance with that, the maturity, the wisdom, the insight, and the student, the learner, the seeker, the discoverer. We then have our subconscious inner self, public arena self, which is the Ace of Cups, healing, beautiful love, which definitely falls in line with the 10 of Cups energy that is here. And as we embrace this healing, beautiful love, we embrace our emotions, we embrace the cleansing away of negative energy, we embrace what we love, we embrace what we desire, and we embrace our hearts stepping into the waking world. Our hearts are saying, come into that which is prosperity, that which is practical. So our spiritual self and our practical self is really moving us forward, and that is what makes us the emperor. That's what makes us a ruler of this time. All right, Leo, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo, and may you have a blessed moon.